Hey guys, so I recently purchased the new Canon R6, also picked up the Canon 35 1.8, the RF lens. Pretty cheap lens, kind of the starter out lens. So I'm starting pretty simple here, the R6 and a pretty much affordable 35mm. I think it's $299, maybe $399. And so it's my first time using this. I recently did a photo shoot with it, and so I wanted to just bring you guys along and kind of show you what I did with it. What were some of the photos I did. I didn't use any gear besides the camera and lens. I didn't use reflectors, lights, strobes or anything. It's all natural light. And so yeah, just wanted to take you guys along. And for some of you who maybe saw some of my other videos, I was using a Sony a7R IV, a7R III, and really old videos, maybe even on my Instagram you might see, is a Canon 5D Mark IV. So I have a lot of experience. I've shot for a while, different cameras, L series lenses. Generally, I have all the L series lenses, but you know, I'm kind of starting over here, and I really wanted to see what I can do with, you know, an affordable lens at this 35mm price point. And so far, what I've seen, I'm pretty happy. So stay along, watch a little bit of video, watch a little bit of photos I produce, and at the end, I'll go in a little bit more depth. And also why did I walk away from Sony? Why did I leave G Master lenses to come to Canon, back to Canon? All right guys, first look with Alex. Something I've really never done too much of is shooting at houses. I'm usually at the beach, I'm outdoors, but not necessarily at houses, nice houses, say in the Hollywood Hills. And what's unique about this shot, our first look, is we were shooting through the glass. So we were getting a lot of reflection in the glass, and what I was concerned with the camera was, is it going to be able to maintain the focus? You know, I left it on AF focus continuous, eye tracking, it was on responsive, and I was pretty shocked, again, with reflection and through the glass, it maintained focus on Alex. And so overall, you know, I was pretty happy with that. As we go into our second look, I purposely left some video in here showing me kind of trying to, two things. One, find the light, find the best light. That's kind of always the first thing I do. And then second, besides great lighting, the background, kind of what's the creative aspect, what kind of colors are back there. Great lighting's great, but I feel like the picture, your background is just as important as the model and good lighting. And I feel like it's the model, it's good lighting, and it's a creative, you know, space in your background, and with color. And so this portion of the video, you know, I was moving around, I was trying to find my shot, and it got to the point where we completely, you know, flipped around. Initially, we wanted to do the concept with her on the inside, me on the outside, kind of what we did in our first look. That wasn't working, and so we didn't force the shot, and we just kept moving, and eventually we flipped around and we got some beautiful images. I think what was important on these second shots as we flipped around and now I'm shooting outside was the background. So I was really focused on trying to get the, you know, the palm trees or those trees behind her. And off to the right, it was just the horizon of LA. We were pretty high up in the hills, and it was just blown out. It was all hazy, it was all gray sky, it was really ugly. So as best as I could, I was trying to get creative with obviously good lighting on the model and with those trees and kind of the palm tree vibe off to the left and center of her. But anytime I kind of framed off to the right, the background was so blown out, the light quality would just completely fall off the model. So these photos came out pretty good. I really enjoyed the output and the creativity. As we went on to look 3, we went outside, and these photos came out beautiful. They're some of my favorites, besides look 2 that we just did through the glass. Look 3 came out very clean, right out of camera. The color, the sharpness, the clarity, I was very impressed. And I do want to note, I think why this came out great, or at least why I think it works for me, is we're shooting outside. This was about 11 a.m. Sun's already kind of coming up. But we had that tree. We had the tree behind us, and generally I like to shoot backlit. I love the sun edging the model, edging her hair, of her face. But to keep good color and depth, or you want to say dynamic range, you know, I always try and find something darker in my background. So I kind of let that sun peek through, you know, and then with a darker background, I feel like it lightens up my model, it lightens up the skin, the face, and it almost works every time. And that's kind of what we were getting here. I feel like that's why the lighting looks so perfect. And again, no reflectors, no flash, nothing. And I think we really got some flawless lighting. I really like this look. I think one thing to note while we were shooting this look also was occasionally a model can, even experienced one, Alex, she models here in Los Angeles every week, but they could kind of get stuck into a look, a pose, etc. So if you've seen any of my past videos, kind of to break the ice a little bit, break the look, occasionally I guide them, I'll show them something in a vision. So for other photographers out there, even other younger photographers out there, don't always anticipate or don't assume, don't assume that the model has your vision in your head. So kind of guide her, kind of show her, put your camera down, give her an idea, and that's kind of what I did with Alex a little bit, and it helped, and I think we got a couple different looks. But I do that often in almost all my photo shoots. Final look, look 4, it was so simple concept. Most of you guys know, go stand in front of a window, hopefully not direct sunlight, but just in front of a window, hold your phone up, and it's beautiful light. It gives a natural, beautiful look. So we did the same concept. We went to the front door. As you can see in the video, it was a nice pink door. She put on one of her favorite outfits. And what I saw instantly was beauty lighting, soft, beautiful lighting. And these photos, they came out really good. They're so sharp, the color's great. And I think what really maximized the Canon, again, with the dynamic range was we had this broad, lighting coming in, very soft, so it lit her perfectly in the background. The background was darker, obviously, than your foreground. And so I think we really maximized, you want to say, the dynamic range of the camera. But I was very impressed with these shots, the skin, the lighting, the sharpness. And it's just simple. We went to the front door, we let the natural light come in, and very simple shot. But I really enjoyed those photos. They came out great. All right, guys, I wanted to show a couple images in Capture One, and just to kind of look at the level of detail in some of these photos. These initial ones, some of my favorites, the ones in the brown. Guys, these are just color graded. There's no retouch, there's no dodge and burn, there's no Photoshop. And I'm gonna pick out a couple here. Let's see. I'm zooming in now, as you can see. The level of detail, obviously you can see a lot of blemishes and skin issues or whatever, but Alex has great skin. I love working with Alex. Her photos always come out great like this, and with the great model, great skin, you give them good lighting. It's perfect. So as for the camera, I was really impressed. Again, looking at the level of detail, I began shooting at F1.8 on this 35. And very happy with the output. And again, guys, these specific images here weren't thrown in Photoshop. They're not retouched, they're not dodge and burn. These ones just have light color grade. There's some others that I did throw in Photoshop, did some work, so I'll show you that. But overall, very happy from the quality of the lens. Some of the photos I noticed, the eye tracking of the eye focus was grabbing the eyelashes instead of the actual eye itself. So I think this is a good example. It's more focused on the eyebrow and the eyelashes than the eye. But again, this is a cheap lens, guys. This is not an L series lens. This is not Canon's top of the lens lens. So either it could be maybe the tracking feature or maybe just the lens. This is about a $300 lens here. A couple more from one of the looks. Again, here's a good example. I thought the eyebrow and the eyelashes were a little bit more sharper than the actual eye itself. Not all the time. It didn't happen like that all the time, but sometimes. All right, These I threw in Photoshop. I did very light retouch. The entire process in Photoshop, guys, is 10 minutes of photo. I don't spend that much time on these. And so let me zoom in here. The color grade is better than before. So let me just show you as an example. So here's that photo. Let me grab another one. The one off to the right is a little bit more deeper color grade that I do when I actually going to retouch a photo. A little bit of skin work, a little bit of dodge and burn on the skin, mainly the face here only. I didn't touch the hands. But off to the left, it's a light color grade, and it looks great. I think both of these photos really look great. So far I've been very happy with what I've seen from the output of the camera. But going back to, these photos here, there's 4 in a row. Some of my favorite shots from the look, and just so simple. Again, no gear, just camera, lens, and simple outfit, and I really liked how they came out. Let me grab one of these images to show you. Again, we're shooting through the glass, and I just want to show some texture of the skin, the eyebrows, the eyes. It's pretty good given the lens we're using. So very happy from what I'm seeing, and I know that when I get later on L series lenses, the new RF high-end glass, it's just going to get better. Here's a couple more from the look. Our first look, some different images, a couple more. I really like this middle one. Actually, all 3 of these, Alex does such a great job. She's so relaxed. I think that's one of the best things, guys, especially if you're kind of new working with models or girls, when you go out to the beach or anywhere, wherever you're shooting, is I always tell them, guys, don't pose. And they're like, what do you mean don't pose? I said, don't even model. I think being spontaneous, being relaxed, and just kind of mentally getting lost, and kind of what she's doing, what Alex is doing, is gazing out of the glass and looking in the backyard, looking at the horizon valet. She's just, it's so relaxed, it's so subtle, and she looks so comfortable versus often sometimes I would say, newer models or less experienced really force it, and it really looks like they're posy or posing. I feel like Alex does such a great job of making it look natural. A couple more photos, guys. These were the ones in the doorway. Again, this is just light color grade. If I was gonna post these to my Instagram, to my website, or something, or if this was for a client, I'd take this through a whole additional color grade process. I'd retouch this, obviously do some dodge and burn, etc. But I'm gonna zoom in on one of these. Again, this is just light color grade, right out of camera, no sharpness. And what you can see is good texture. Again, there's no sharpness added here, and we're using a $300 lens. So yeah, I really like what I see. I really like the colors that I'm seeing here. So overall, this was my first time using the R6. This is my first time using the 35. So kind of final takeaway overall. So far, I am happy with the Canon R6. I am happy leaving the Sony a7R IV, believe it or not, and now starting with this R6. That is a bigger discussion. I'll have another video on it. But so far, for the price point of the R6 and what I'm kind of seeing or producing with a $300, $400 lens, this RF 35 1.8, I'm impressed. I like what I see, and this is just starting. Like I said earlier, pretty soon when I get my hands on the L series RF glass, I'd probably pick up a 2870, my next lens at f2. I love the 70-200, so kind of setting a baseline of where this camera is at today, and knowing that it's going to get better with better glass. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I purchased it, And again, this is someone who had Sony, you know, the A7R III and 4, and I'm not putting Sony down, guys. My A7R III, by the way, whoever's out there shooting Sony A7R III, one of the best cameras. One of my favorite cameras. It was my mistake getting the A7R IV. I didn't like it, guys, at all. But getting back to this R6, you know, I thought it was low light, by the way. I know we were shooting at daytime, but I played with the low light settings. Impressive. You barely notch up the ISO and it gets so bright, you know, ISO 400, 600, it's so bright. So I love that. Probably the most sensitive sensor, raising ISO, out of all the cameras I used, the Sony A7R IV, the A7R III, the 5D Mark IV. So I feel like this is a little beast, low light, and often I shoot at the beach. After sunset, I just crank the ISO just a little bit, and the quality is great. There's no grain, there's nothing. So I'm very happy so far with the light sensitivity, raising the ISO. As for sharpness, I'm happy with the level of sharpness given the lens I'm using. I know the sharpness is only going to get better, but given that what I've seen right out of the camera, I did light color grade, you know, the texture was good enough. I didn't add sharpness, and then I think I showed you guys some of the blue gown looks where I did add some texture or sharpness or whatever, and it looks just fine. It looks perfect. So overall, I am happy. As for the auto-focusing, the tracking, the only one thing I would point out from what I saw, a couple of my pictures, and even some of the good ones, was when the model kind of was a profile look, it occasionally didn't focus on the first eye, the foreground eye, or it would do the background. So a couple times it did that, but it's my first time using it, so we'll see how it goes moving forward. But I did notice that often, a couple photos where it focused on the eye that was further from the camera or lens. But other than that, so far I think it was a good shoot. First time taking it out, and again, I think it's kind of in reach for most guys. Affordable camera body and lens, definitely on the lens. And so, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. It's my first time taking out the Canon R6, first time using this 35mm, and yeah, kind of happy. I'm excited to do some more videos, some more shoots for you guys, and just trying to get creative content. You know, I really like creating images, creating artistic images with good color. I love color grading. So guys, stay tuned. I'm gonna keep shooting with this 35. I'll probably pick up another, you know, RF lenses. I'm gonna start with the affordable ones, maximize that. I know there's a 50 out there, there's the 85. And after I really maximize those and show you guys what I'm doing with them, I'll probably make that leap in time to get the L series glass by Canon. So again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, guys. I'll have some more videos coming for you.